Hi, my name is Jules Chin Greene, and I'm here at C2E2 2026, and with me is Wilson Bethel. Welcome.
Thank you.
How is your con been so far?
It's been great, man. I love doing these things, you know, just interacting with the fans and seeing people's excitement for the show and for the character. It's amazing.
For sure. So something that struck me watching your performance as Bullseye is that when you're like shooting a fight scene, are you like throwing actual objects at Charlie Cox, or is it,
I wish I could say I was, because I love beating up on Charlie, but no, I mean, just like for safety reasons, you can't really do that. There's just too many people on set, and you can't be just like winging shit around. But so yeah, a lot of that is done in CGI, but I do try and do like as much, as much of the stunt work as I can, and it's one of, it's definitely one of the funnest parts of the show. So
for
yeah.
sure. Does your like arm ever get tired from just whipping it?
I'm glad you asked, because yeah, it really actually does. It also, I have to stretch it a lot, because when you're pretending to throw things and you're not actually throwing them, it actually can really mess up your shoulder, as I've learned. So yeah, a big part of like my getting ready to shoot these scenes is just like a ton of stretching, and yeah, by the end of a season, my shoulder is pretty beat.
You're just like, don't make me lift anything.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure. And so I also heard that you were a tennis player before becoming an actor. So do you call on your tennis training?
It's funny you say that. I actually do. I mean, there's a lot of like a standard throwing motion is very similar to like a service motion. There's a lot of the arm movements and the way that there's your weight transfers. I feel like I use that kind of body mechanics for a lot of his different throwing styles, which is great, man. I mean, I think, obviously having a background in tennis or whatever sport can translate into stunt work, and it's one of the things that, I just think is super fun with this character, getting to use some of those like, the body awareness skills and the sort of sports language with a more deadly twist.
For sure, yeah. Especially like just your movement, like, because I also come from a tennis background. You got to be on your toes. You got to be agile.
Totally, man. Yeah. I mean, I think like we all have seen like great examples of stunt work and not as great examples, and usually the really great examples are people who have backgrounds in some sport or another, and just I think just are really comfortable in that kind of athleticism and movement. So yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. So kind of along those lines,
yeah.
Who would win in a table tennis match, Bullseye or Marty from Marty Supreme?
Well, Marty Supreme might have the upper hand for a while until Bullseye just like threw a ping pong ball through his face. So
that would probably be the end of the match.
But that's a good one, man. I love that movie. So
admittedly, like when I was just seeing all of the clips from that movie, I just thought of Bullseye.
I love it. Yeah. I would think he would definitely fit into that world in a weird way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And so in the trailers for Daredevil Born Again Season 2, we did see a shot of Bullseye throwing forks at people in a diner, and which is just like a new nightmare is completely unlocked there. At this point, do you just think like when you get a new script, like what is Dex going to be throwing this time? Yeah,
I mean, honestly, it's one of the things that I think makes this character so much fun to watch, and so surprising and funny, and like there's just so many different dynamics. I mean, on the one hand, he's terrifying, and on the other hand, he has this skill that in some ways is sort of ridiculous, but also sort of like unlocks a kind of like endless creativity in terms of writing fun fight scenes, because all you have to do is sort of like close your eyes and think of like, okay, well, what's an environment where Bullseye would be particularly deadly? And you might be able to come up with 10 of those like right off the top, and all of them are fucking amazing. Like, put him in a casino where there's cards and fucking poker chips, like game over. Put him in a fucking supermarket where there's just aisles full of fucking, meat boxes, whatever. Like anywhere where there's just a bunch of shit, like great, game on. And I think honestly, that's one of the reasons that fans really respond to this character and love it is because there's like an added element of like creativity and fun that I think a lot of superheroes and even supervillains don't get, and with Bullseye you do. So it's, man, I always say like this character or this role has just been one of the great gifts for me to play, and I just absolutely love doing it.
That's great. Yeah, it's almost like the saying how for some people the world is their oyster. For Bullseye, the world is his arsenal.
Yeah,
really.
100%. 100%.
Yeah. Has there been like any object that you would love Bullseye to throw that he hasn't gotten the chance to do yet?
I mean, I sort of did the secret plant just a moment ago, but like, dude, let's do cards already. Bullseye needs a deck of cards.
Yeah.
I really would love to see him in a casino.
Yeah.
I think that needs to happen for sure.
For sure. I mean, and it's his little like Bond villain arc.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, great.
And so, were you surprised to see how much fans responded with this version of Bullseye?
Yeah, I mean, from the outset, from the Netflix show, I think I was sort of shocked at how much love the character got, and I think a lot of that has to do with the care that was given to really crafting, that Eric Olson put into crafting a really powerful backstory, and that whole season 3 struggle with Fisk of sort of breaking him bad.
Right.
And I think that's really resonated in that season, and obviously that backstory now gets to carry over into these new seasons of Born Again. So yeah, I mean, it's amazing, but I think it's also a really powerful testament, and I think it's a great like lesson for any superhero, any kind of whatever, not even just superhero stuff, but like give your villains like real stakes, real emotional stakes, real backstories, real meaning, and it just changes the way that we get to invest in the conflict with your heroes.
Right.
Right. Because everything gets ratcheted up if you care a little bit more about the villain and the stakes for the villain. That's what we all learned with Thanos, right?
Right.
Like here you have this fucking world-destroying villain who you should just sort of be a cartoon or whatever, and yet there was something really powerfully, emotionally grounded about it. That's part of why those movies are so fucking good.
Right.
And there's plenty of examples where they haven't invested the same way, they haven't put the same emotional stakes, and you're like, okay, that was a cool movie, but you don't get to get the that hit with it the same way. So anyway, very long answer to your question, but I think that's part of why the fans have responded as much, is because Dex, I think, really feels like a full human in a lot of ways. A very broken one, a very tortured one, a pretty messed up one, but he's a human for sure.
Yeah, and one who was really had his particular guardrails, or his North Star, to keep everything on the rails, and was dealing with like legitimate, real like mental health struggles. So I remember like my mother like was watching season 3, and like as Dex started going off the deep end, she was like, "Oh, what's he doing now?" Like, like she was like very concerned about it. So, and I was like, "Oh, you don't even know what's coming."
Yeah.
And so, do you think Dex can ever be redeemed? If not, why is he still compelling?
Yeah. I don't know that I would want to see him like redeemed in a traditional sense. No, I mean, for starters, I think that he is a villain, and I like that he exists at least somewhere in that spectrum. So I think it would be a wrong move to pull him toward the good guys. Now that said, I am always fighting for layers and complexity in the character and reasons for doing the villainous stuff.
Right.
And if that means that people are sympathetic toward him, there's certainly plenty of examples throughout, narrative history of sympathetic villains, and I am all about being a sympathetic villain. But no, I don't think I ever wanted to be a good guy. So yeah, sympathetic villain for sure.
100%. And we certainly like got a hint of that with the beef that he has with Fisk, and also the end of episode 1 from season 2.
Right.
So I'm just so excited to see where that goes.
Hell yeah.
Moving on. So there was a period of time that elapsed between when you filmed Daredevil season 3 and Born Again season 1. Did you find it a challenge to get kind of back into Dex's headspace, or do you have little shortcuts that help you get back there?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, for sure it was a challenge. And part of it, honestly, was that going into shooting Born Again, the whole industry had been shut down like for over a year. So I just hadn't even been doing any acting work. So it's my first day on the film set. I was like, do I still remember how to do this? You know, like between the writing strike and the actor strike, it had been over a year. But fortunately, I think Dario really picked up right where like the spirit of the character left off. He knew, we had a lot of conversations, he and I, about where the character was at and how this, how to make sure that the character felt consistent. And once I knew that we were on the same page, I mean, I think even though it had been a long time, I did still feel like I understood this character. So honestly, like the harder thing was just sort of like getting back into the rhythm of being on a set again after a while. But the character has never left me, and I really do. After, even when I'm not working on a character for a given scene, that character lives inside me in a way. And that's one of the amazing things about getting to do a show like this over such an extended period of time, is that you sort of like marinate with a character for years, and you sort of, whether you like it or not, you get to know it a little bit better. You get to know him a little bit better.
For sure.
So I think that's a really cool element of this. Like I do feel really weirdly connected to Dex at this point, and it makes it easier. I mean, it doesn't make it easy, but it makes it easier to drop into a scene, because I feel like I do know this guy.
It's very cool.
Yeah.
So just to wrap things up here, are you nerding out about anything right now that you would suggest we watch, read, or play?
Nerding out. What am I nerding out on? Dang, that's a good question. I don't know, man. I'm not watching a ton right now, honestly. So
totally understandable.
Yeah. What am I nerding out on? I don't know.
Like listening to any interesting, like,
dude, I've got like a 3.5-year-old, so I'm like, I'm nerding out on my daughter a lot, for sure. And which also means that, honestly, I'm nerding out on Disney princesses a lot.
Right.
Like, there's so much Disney princess in our house. I know all the songs to movies that I never thought I would see. Like, you want me to break down Tangled for you in a major way? Girl, let's go.
I was gonna ask, like, was she like a Bluey girl? Like, but
she hadn't really gotten into Bluey. No, I mean, like, she is so all in on Disney princesses. It's wild. I mean, Elsa, like, we sing Frozen songs all day, every day. But yeah, all of them, all Moana, Pocahontas, like,
all the classics.
All the classics, dude. Yeah, Jasmine. So I'm deep in that world. I'm deep in that world.
Alrighty, well, thanks so much for speaking with me
For
today.
sure. Yeah, great
wonderful.
interview, man. That was awesome.